Welcome to the Color of Influence podcast, where you will hear conversations from influential people of color from around the world, from social media, and right here in your communities. These behind the scenes conversations will motivate you, inspire you, and encourage you. I am your host, Aisha Morgan, and let's meet today's guest. Welcome back to our celebration of Black Business Month. Today's episode is a replay with Christopher Tuning, who is the founder of Autopilot, which is a luxury luggage and travel line. His innovative inventions are amazing and have created lots of partnerships for him and his company. Our episode was over an hour, and Chris dropped lots of different gems, told lots of different stories, and we really enjoyed this conversation. So let's get into today's replay with Christopher Tuning, the founder of Autopilot. All right, so we are here with Chris, who is the owner, founder, CEO of Life on Autopilot. And I discovered Chris, well, first of all, I know him through a mutual friend. But what we're going to talk about today, I discovered all through social media. Had no idea that this was even a thought process of his, and was able to just watch it all unfold online. So, Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to get right into it.
Well, thanks, Aisha, for inviting me on the podcast. This is an honor. I'm grateful for this opportunity.
You're welcome.
To talk about the brand a little bit. So yeah, thanks for the introduction. My name is Christopher Tuning. I'm founder, owner of Autopilot. It's luxury travel goods, luggage and travel goods brand. And brand launched in 2015. But it's been a process. It's been a process. So, we're in 2022. The goal for Autopilot is to be a global brand.
Mm-hmm.
And once I started really getting into like luggage and travel goods, and knew like, yo, this is what I want to do. I already knew I wanted to create like a legacy brand, and the brand anything takes 10 years. So I actually put myself on like a 20-year plan.
Yeah.
So we're just started like the 7th year of my my plan. So we've still got a few more years till I think it'll really become like a really I ain't gonna say household, but a more recognizable brand,
Yeah.
So, just like anything else, this is something I've been building brick by brick. So, this is my marathon.
Yeah.
Shout out
So
to
how
me.
did you even come up with this concept? Like, are you a traveler, or did you just see something one day and you're like, that needs to be my brand?
Yeah, well, so my parents they work for the airlines. Like my
Oh,
mom,
okay.
my beautiful mom, she's still a flight attendant. She's been working for flight attendant for like 45 years. So
Really?
I grew up traveling a lot. Just,
Okay.
going to visit family, you know, just, going to Disney World after school on a Friday, just because, we could kind of have that luxury of just being able to pick up and go. So I did a lot of traveling as a kid. And
Yeah.
um, I used to always wear a lot of baseball hats. I still do, clearly. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's hard to travel with like 3 and 4 baseball hats at a time without getting them crushed in your luggage. So
True.
that was actually like the genesis of Autopilot. The first product that I designed was a sky cap, and
Okay.
sky cap was the baseball cap carrier. Um, that I received was kind of cool. Um, in 2016, I was one. I was 1 in 6 out of a million applicants. 1 in 6 Black people that got a patent
Oh,
that year in
wow.
2016 um, for the Sky Cap. So that was a dope accomplishment. But once I like designed the Sky Cap, then it just evolved into like, what? Because first it just started off as a product. Like I had the idea for this product, which was a Sky Cap, like
Hmm.
just a luxury baseball hat carrier. And it morphed into just a luggage line, and I've invented other products. Since the Sky Cap, and yeah, it's just turned into like you know something I feel like I was really like meant to do. Like I joke around because my parents they met at the airport, so I was joking around like, man, I was born to be fly. Type of, so like just flying travel goods like autopilot, like that's yeah, that's what I'm about. That's what this luggage brand is about.
So the Sky Cap, was it successful? Because it's very specific to have, that product is very specific. So did you have
Yeah,
a lot of clients or?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's still, to date, um, yeah, it's still a conversation starter. You know what I mean? When people see it, they're like I get what it is, but what is
Yeah,
it? You know what I mean? Because it's shaped like a baseball hat, and
right.
and then when they see it, they're like, oh, and then it always goes into, yo, my brother, my cousin, my husband, he would love this,
Yeah.
and I'll say that's you know on the other side, that's been the biggest challenge uh in this industry for me is that you know a few of the products I created, like the Sky Cap,
Uh-huh.
didn't exist before.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like creating something out of nothing. You know what I mean? And it takes time to introduce people to something they've never ever seen before. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
So, um, just trying to take like a specialty product, what I'm doing, and trying to make it a mainstream product. You know what I mean? So that's like the push. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's why I say like 10, 20-year plan. Like I knew from the beginning it was going to take that amount of time for the masses to understand, and you know what I mean,
Yeah.
see
To
the
see it.
product, and
Yeah.
and see what and just really understand it. And, I have the patent for it, so I already know, what I mean. And right now I have, what is it, 2016, I got like 15 more years on my patent, but best
Okay.
believe in 2037
Yeah. It's
you're
gonna
gonna
be more.
see a bunch of sky caps. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Louis Vuitton will have a sky cap. Gucci, all these other brands that don't even exist yet, will have a sky cap because it's an important luggage piece. Right now, they can't do it because I have the patent for it.
Right.
But just like the Air Force One. You remember like in what was it,
Yeah.
2000? Yeah, a patent is good for 20 years. So the Air Force One patent was in 1981. It's when the Air Force One came out, whatnot. So you remember in 2001, 2002, when the Bapes came out,
Yeah.
3D Genius, like all of these, it's still the same Air Force One, but just
Right.
other companies putting their branding on it because the patent ran out.
Got it. Okay.
So people, you know what I mean? Bape, they made a bunch of bread off of it. And I kind of foresee the sky cap like kind of just like the same thing,
Yeah.
in 20, whatever, like I said, 2037. The only thing that's going to separate um the autopilot sky cap and all the other hat carriers is I was the first one to do it.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's, you know what I mean? That's just, and that's what I'll always continue the brand is, the first.
Yeah. Because I could definitely see like lids. I'm sure if they
Yeah, yeah,
had
Liz,
that thought, like, oh my God, why didn't we think of that type of
yeah, like a new
thing?
era, and we have actually some talks. We're gonna have some talks soon, I guess.
Cool, cool.
We were talking this was a couple years ago. Um what's the company? The one from Philly, Mitchell and Ness.
Oh, okay,
Mitchell and
yeah,
Ness. Talking to them about, kind of them, not saying running with it, but you know what I mean, giving them
yeah,
some rights to it. But they've been, shit, I think they've been sold like 5 times over like the last 10 years. So like,
got it.
the contacts keep on changing. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So when you came up with the idea, so you know you want to create this sky cap, like what did that process look like? Did you have to hire somebody to like make you a prototype, or did you, how did you even start that?
well, it was a long process because I didn't have any experience prior to. Um, I mean, in fashion, I just like clothes. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like I didn't have a fashion background. Um,
right.
or pattern making backgrounds or anything like that. So, um, once I had the idea, like I've always been able to draw,
Mm-hmm.
like that's one of, I guess, my God's gifts. Um, so once I had the idea in my mind, I was able to draw it clear as day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like this is what I want. Like, so my big bro mentor, his name was Jabron. Unfortunately, Jabron actually just passed away. But that was
Oh,
my
sorry to
big
hear that.
bro. He yes, it's all good. But he's one of the best artists like of our generation. Like I know he is. Like he wasn't on social media and all that stuff like that, but just a super ill guy. He knew how to draw and paint with his left and right hand. Like he could look at you and paint you with both hands.
Oh, wow.
He did animation, puppets. He knew how to do everything art, right?
Yeah.
So, once I had the idea, like I told Jabron, like, y'all got this idea, you know what I mean, for this hat carrier, whatever I'm calling it, the Sky Cat. And he sat on. I was like, all right. And then maybe it was like 2 weeks later, he made it. Like he made it. He made the pattern, and he gave it to so Jabon introduced me to Leon, and Leon, another shout out to Leon, just another super important person in my life and in my story, and getting this business to where it is, because
Mhm.
Leon, he um he made like my first 10, like after Jabon gave it to him and he sewed it up and I had my
Uh-huh.
first sky cap. um it was a prototype, it was
Right.
far from perfect. But Leon went on and made about 10 or 12 after that, like kept on making it better, improving. Like it started off like, one day I'll show you. It started off like this big, like huge. Like it actually started off as like a huge backpack, like that whole like 20 hats.
Okay.
And but I was telling Leon like, nah, it has to be like this big. You know what I mean? So Leon kept on working at it, and he got it to a point where like I'm like, all right, this is good. Good enough where I could take it to a manufacturer and
Uh-huh.
be like, yo, I need you to perfect this. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But that process took like maybe like 2 years,
Okay.
like 2 years of prototyping, of Leon just making better and better versions.
Yeah.
And then when I got to the point where, like I said, where I could take it to a manufacturer, like that was just a whole nother story. Like, me being completely ignorant to the manufacturing process. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, you know, I didn't know how much of a challenge it is to actually get products manufactured here in America. So
Got it.
I
Okay.
ended up going to like every manufacturer, uh, handbag manufacturer from New York to New Jersey. Even when I to LA, hollered at someone who said they knew someone that
Yeah.
said they knew someone that could make it. And yeah, like a lot of the a lot of the response I was get was, of course, no, but like we just don't have anybody that could make this. You know what I mean? And
Mm,
then
okay.
um, actually that through the process, I remember this guy named his name was Alberto. Somebody that told me meet someone in this building in New York, and this guy has a factory he could make it. I remember going to see his name was Alberto, I think. He was on like 37th and 9th in New York City. And he was like, yeah, I can make it. I'm like, all right, bet. Cool. All right, I'm excited. Like someone said they
Yeah.
could really make it. And he was like, well, how many you want? I was like, well, like 100. He's like, all right, it's gonna be $300 each.
Wow.
Huh? And it was gonna take like 3 months. I'm like, nah, bro.
Wow.
Like, I can't pay $300 wholesale
Right.
for, you know what I mean, and then wait 3 months. So that's why pretty much everything is made overseas today. You know what I mean? It's
Got
because
it.
really the United States doesn't have the infrastructure
Yeah.
to mass produce um at least like in the handbags and in the fashion field, like for like large scale production, even medium scale production. But I ended up finding this one company. They was based in New York, but they was French.
Okay.
And yeah, again after like 6 months of back and forth, they they finally made it right. You know what I mean? They made it but they couldn't do production. They could only do sampling. So I still had to go look for production. You know what I mean? But at that
Yeah.
point, I had like a really good version of it. You know what I mean? That again, I was able to continue shopping around. So it took like shit, from the start of like that the genesis of the Skycap idea
Uh-huh.
to actually going into like having a production.
Yeah.
It took like it took like 5 years.
Oh, wow.
It took a long time. Yeah. Of you know, again, like it didn't exist before, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And um, you know, just getting it right how I wanted it to look in my mind, you know what I'm saying? It took,
Yeah.
again, I didn't have a background, so I don't, to date, I still don't speak the production language, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just going in there like, yo, cut this. You know what I mean? I draw everything. I draw
Yeah.
everything. So like I'm quick to pull out a sketch. Like, nah, I'll sketch something like make it look like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So again, yeah, it took a long time to actually get on the market and get some steam behind the product and stuff like that. But,
So once you had, well, wait, so you still hadn't had a manufacturer yet. So how
nah, I
did
still
you,
didn't have a manufacturer.
so
Nah,
that was 5 years just to get a good sample.
just to get a good sample.
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
And I was still working at it like every day. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like some facet of the business, or you know what I mean, just actually getting the product right. And um, when I didn't have the product in my hand, then I was thinking about like, all right, well, what's the company going to be called, and you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like how I'm going to market it, and just kind of having those thoughts and working out strategies. But yeah, it took like 5 years to get a sample. Then once I got a sample, I did find production. This company, it was based in New York, but the factory was in Mexico.
Okay.
And yeah, like that was cool. I ended up going to Mexico several times back and forth, you know what I mean? Just going down to the factory, somewhat like overseeing the process. And yeah, so this that company in Mexico at the time, they did our first order.
Mm-hmm.
And then since then, um, you know, I found other manufacturers. Um, so actually right now we work with like three different factories in three different parts of the world, from Vietnam, Bangladesh to Mexico still.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But every one of those relationships took like a year because, you know, we had to go through iterations with their factory and getting the design right because no one's ever made it before. That's
Right.
nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's not like
Yeah.
I don't know, a clutch or a handbag, or this is a handbag factory. They've made hundreds of totes. They've made a
Yeah.
hundred handbags. You know what I mean? No one's ever made this before. You know what I mean? So it takes them time to figure out how they're gonna make it. You know
Right.
what I mean? Then after they make it, how are they going to produce it? You know what I'm saying? Like as far as educating their workers, you know what I mean? How to
Yeah.
make this product. So,
So when you go through that process, and
mhm,
those are things that, like, obviously you didn't think about. I would have never thought about that. For them to accept it, do you have to guarantee them like a certain amount of products that they're going to make in order for them to do it? Because it seems extensive for them to have to teach their people how to do it, what they're supposed to be doing, like figure
right,
out how
right.
it's going to be made. So in order for them to say, okay, we'll do it, do you have to say, I'll make sure I make at
X
least
amount of
100?
units or whatever.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right, right. Well, like, for that reasons why I actually have like 3, 4 different factories that I work with, because depending on the size of the order, you know what I mean? Like I have a factory that only does small orders. I
Okay.
have another factory that does medium size. And then, for those large orders of, usually 200 or more, then we have another factory that just does large orders. And
Got
each
it.
factory, they specialize in what they do. So like the factory that just does my small orders,
Hmm.
they only do small orders. Like they don't do large orders.
Got it.
The
Okay.
large orders, they do nothing small. All they do is large. You know what I mean? But yeah, but just going through this process of like, you know, getting the product made, and you know, it being exactly kind of like how I wanted it to look. It takes time. But
Yeah.
I'm grateful for finding the manufacturers that we do have, because they're excellent. They do excellent work. Yeah.
So when you
People are always
saw
impressed by the
like
quality.
when you saw that first order,
Oh
complete,
yeah.
like what did that feel like for you? Because this is like years in the making.
Yeah. You know, I'm kind of like for the most part, like an even person. I really don't get too high. I really don't ever get too low.
Yeah.
Um, but I do remember when that first order came in, and um, it was a feeling of like, yo, you did it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you did it. But like now you gotta sell these dogs. Now you're looking at 100 sky cows, like like, which is kind of intimidating in itself. But yeah, it was definitely a good day. It was definitely a
Yeah.
good day. Actually, a good week.
So
Yeah.
you actually had them made before you had orders.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So did you
And
have,
then once they came, like I already had a whole bunch of orders to ship off.
that's what I was
You know what
gonna
I'm saying?
say.
Yeah,
Did you
to
have
customers.
stuff that was lined up already, or was
Yeah,
it like,
yeah.
okay, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you make like your first order? Like someone was like, I want this many sky caps.
Uh, well, we Well, let me see. Like, are you talking about like a corporate
Just
order or
whenever
just like,
you, I mean, obviously, I'm sure it's people that bought it, but like your first order of somebody you didn't know, whether it
oh,
was
just super
one
random?
or
Oh yeah,
20 or 30, whatever.
yeah. It's funny you asked that. Because you know, I very frequently go on to the back channels to see who's copping. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
every time, you know what I mean, I see someone that, most of the time I don't know who this person is on the other side, you know what I mean? But it's always um, I always just feel just super grateful, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When, it's like such and such from a city I've never even heard of. Like, damn, how the hell did they come across my, you know what I mean, my
Yeah.
company, you know what I mean? Yeah, just like wow, they bought something. You know what I mean? Like, buying something that like I created in my mind. Like, but the first time was it was back, when we had the first order. I actually think I remember. I think it was someone from Florida, actually. Someone from Florida. And yeah, just a great feeling, of like, because as an entrepreneur, I'll tell you firsthand, you go through all the emotions, if you're really passionate about your craft or
Yeah.
whatever it is you're working on, and um it yeah, you know, it's just a lot, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's those times where like, yo, like, you know, got a whole bunch of sales today, you know what I mean? I don't know none of these people on the list, like that's awesome. But like the process, you know what I'm saying? Like I told you, it took 5 years to just get something tangible that was good enough, you know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
like, you know, of course I had those people that, I told them about the sky cat from the I mean, for the gig on, I got this idea, and then, year in, you still working on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, still working on it. You know what I mean? 3 years
Yeah.
in, yo, what's good with that sky cap? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's coming, it's coming. You know what I mean? And then finally you get something tangible, but you're still not there yet. You know what I
Right.
mean? You still gotta make a production order and sell it. Um, but yeah, the I ain't gonna lie, like I still go through days of like, man, how much can I continue to put into this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I always remind myself, like, yeah, you know what you were doing when you got into this. You knew it was going to take some time.
Yeah.
And I mean, at this point, I can't take my foot off the gas. Like I've put too much time, energy, blood, sweat, and tears, and I'm still very passionate about it. You know what I mean? So like, and the brand is nowhere near where you know it's supposed to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It still has a lot of work to be put in, um, you know, before it's a global brand. Like that's the goal, of course. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? For Autopilot to be recognized as a global brand.
So when you started, did you have investors or was this like all
Not really. Now, I mean, to be honest, yeah, I've had like a couple of my homeboys, close friends and family,
yeah.
chipped in, along the way a little bit. But for the most part, like it's pretty much bootstrapped. I got a partner, and you know, we've we've made it happen. You know what I mean? Putting our own
Yeah.
money into it, and of course, then turn around and making money, and you know. But actually, right now though, 2022, um, we are raising capital for the
Okay.
first time. Going back into raising some capital. So yeah, anyone looking at this podcast, you can go to autopilotworldwide.com, check out our products, and if you want to get behind the team, then you can reach out. Christopher at lifeonautopilot.com.
Sounds good. So when did you get out? Like venture out into new products? So you're like, okay, we got this sky cap, but I feel like we need something else.
Yeah. Well, you know, even though like the the collection, the Autopilot started off with the sky cap as the first product. My plan was to always come out, you know, as I knew I was like, yo, this is what I want to do. Like I
Yeah.
love creating this. You know what I mean? Like the whole luggage line was coming up right after.
Mm-hmm.
So I say once we found one of our manufacturers to actually like perfect the sky cap,
Yeah.
then yeah, it was quickly moving on to all the other ideas that I had. Yeah.
So do you have corporate partners right now?
We have corporate partnerships, yeah. Actually, right now we're working on our third collaboration piece with New Balance.
Okay.
Um, we had worked with HBO for Lovecraft Country. We did a collaboration for that. That was really big for us.
Yeah.
Um, we worked with Maker's Mark.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out to my homegirl Toya over there. She connected that for us. Um, and we have some other really cool collaborations in the works. I'm not gonna talk about them yet,
Yeah, you got to keep it on the
yet.
hush.
But I'll come back and tell you first though, once we, you know what I mean, before we
Okay, that sounds good.
yeah.
So you have this line of luggage.
Mhm.
How do you promote it? I mean, obviously, social media, I feel like, has made it so attainable to like promote, but you do have to do a lot of footwork behind the scenes to even start promoting. So, how did
Yeah.
you like what were your steps? Because I know for me, like if I didn't know you, I don't know that I would have come across your line.
Right. That's a good question. So a lot of it has been social media though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instagram has, done wonders for us. And then of course, the best um, recognition you can get, promotion you can get is actually people who have bought it and, where to use my product, so to speak. So
Yeah.
a lot of referrals, you know what I mean? We've attended um, you know, been vendors at different events and stuff like that. So, influencers, a little something, you know what I mean? But I said the best promotion is usually, for the most part, people that have bought, and we get a lot of referrals.
Yeah.
And, people sometimes say, "Oh, I saw your thing here." You know what I mean? I saw this guy with it. He said, "Reach out to you, reach out to your company." I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Who's
Yeah.
the biggest person that y'all have sent stuff to?
Oh well, I can tell you the first person.
Okay.
I
Who
don't know
was
if it's
the
the
first?
biggest, but the first person, because you always remember your first, right?
Yeah.
um, it was currency.
Okay.
Yeah, and this was like, this was damn, what mixtape he had back out then, but this was like a while ago, like six
Yeah.
years ago. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And yeah, I just got the pictures, and then like the next day he was on like social media,
Yeah.
like with the, what I mean, showing the sky cap, and like, yo, you ain't a player unless you got one of these,
Yeah.
spitter talking this pip shit. But yeah, it was, yeah, I remember the first. I can't.
Yeah.
Currency, yeah, and I'm a fan of Currency, so shout out to Currency. I hope he comes out with some new music soon.
Yeah.
Got those dope cars though.
So who else have has like promoted your brand on their social media?
There's one person I could tell you who I always see with it. He doesn't like. I've never seen him like at the company or at Autopilot in it, but like, you know, what's his name? he's a soccer player. He's internationally big. Raheem Sterling.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's Jamaican, plays for Manchester.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's big, probably got like 10, 15 million followers. Like, yeah, like you go through his timeline, you'll see my passport wallet, you'll see my backpack, you'll see the travel kit. Like he got everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. But y'all didn't send it to him.
Well, that was his was actually through New Balance.
Got it. Okay.
New
They're
Balance,
his
yeah.
sponsor.
That was one of the parts. But you know what I mean? Like, we get these opportunities, but there's other celebrities that have it, but you know, you never know if they're gonna really, put it on their social media or
Yeah.
anything like that. You know what I mean? So the ones that do that, like, yeah, I appreciate that. We appreciate that.
Yeah. Cause I know, like I tagged you in that post from
Yeah, you
Demetria
have
L. Lucas.
that girl.
Yeah.
What's her name again?
Demetria L. Lucas.
Yeah, she's popping too. Yeah. I think she took it to like Africa or something, like
She was in Mexico. But she
Mexico.
did recently go to Africa, so she probably
Okay.
had it in Africa too.
But yeah, I recently had someone from Africa from like the Serengeti
Uh-huh.
was out there with like my passport wallet and like he had like 2 pieces. I don't even
Yeah.
know, bro. You know what I mean? But he just added us like, yeah, I'm out here to Serengeti with my autopilot. I'm like, oh, don't get bit by any lions. You know what I
Oh
mean?
Lord. Yeah.
Well, yeah, man. Oh, yeah, super dope, super dope, super dope. And I would love to live with
Yeah.
that lady.
That was cool. I was like, wait a minute. I know that name.
Yeah,
I was like, that's so cool. And she like literally like staged it,
yeah, she
like
did.
her stuff.
Yo,
So
recently I saw one of my bags selling on eBay. That was cool.
really?
Yeah, for like a good price. I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
All right, put some money underneath my, you know what I mean? Don't take any offers, you know what I mean? Buying it,
Yeah.
as yeah, buy now. Buy now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's dope.
it
Yeah,
is. So
yeah,
when
that's
you
cool.
have because you have a I don't even know what you call it, like the alcohol holder, the
Yeah,
alcohol.
the Bruce bag, that's turned into like really like my most popular.
I was
The
gonna
big
say,
seller
like, I feel like
as of
I
late.
see that a lot,
Yeah.
like from
Actually,
people.
I got one right here. Hold up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fire.
So yeah, this is called the Bruce. Just to give you a little backstory, Um, the Bruce, the first one I made was a gift for my partner.
Uh-huh.
It was his 40th birthday. So, I wanted to give him something special. You know what I mean? So he's he's um a whiskey cigar connoisseur. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he could tell you about cigar leaves. He could tell you about different whiskeys and bourbons. Like he's really into that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, make something cool for him. So this is what I made. So this is the like I said, it's a Bruce. How it works. Bring this down a little bit. Little holes. And let's see,
Okay.
2 bottles, 2 fifths, or 2 champagne bottles, or 2 wine bottles.
Yeah.
Um, and it's thermally lined on the inside, so keeps bottles chill on the way to wherever you're going.
Yeah.
And then it has the cigar compartment in the front. So right here you hold 4 cigars.
Got it.
And then on this side is little pockets for lighter, cigar cutter,
Yeah.
little smoking accessories. Yes, you want to call it wine holder, bottle holder. So yeah, this is the Bruce. This is the celebration bag. This is the party bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is, you know what I mean? When you're going over one of your friends' houses in Houston or whatever, girls' night, you feel me? This is,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? This is what you take.
I
Take the
have
Bruce.
seen that bag several times.
Yeah. Yeah, this bag, this is turned into a really popular seller and really proud of this.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
is that like a
And I
patent?
call it in one more, it's called the Bruce because like I said, it was a gift for my partner.
Yeah.
And his dad's name is Bruce.
Ah, okay.
Right. So his dad, um, he was like the first, not saying like the first person I met, you know what I mean? But he was like I met Bruce when I was young, like 2021, but he was just older, you know, man. He was like a Renaissance man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like doesn't say much, just kind of nods, but like, you know what I mean? Got the jazz
Yeah.
music playing, always had like a leg crossed with a nice drink on the side. You know what I'm saying? Just real, you know, just a real cool guy. So you know, again, so I named the bag after my guy's father. So that's why this is called the Bruce.
That's cool.
Yeah, the Bruce tote.
So is that patent too, or is it just
Yeah, it's actually patent pending. I
okay?
haven't received the patent yet, but I feel pretty confident about it.
Yeah.
Because there's not like again, there's nothing else like this. So I'm here. This backpack is dope. Because it's not just a regular backpack, but it has a shoe compartment in the back.
Oh,
This is a
nice.
backpack that's like not for school. This is like for
Yeah.
travel.
Yeah, it's a
You know
travel
what I'm
bag.
saying? So that's how this works here. You can unzip. Yeah. Place it on here. So, yeah. See that?
Okay.
But yeah, shoe compartment.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is actually one of my favorite pieces here.
So do you have to get patents for every bag that you have, or is it just kind
No.
of
Mm-mm.
okay?
No, I mean not everything is patentable, you know.
Yeah.
Uh sky cap. I mean, this is a sky. This is a sky cap for your viewers. Mad hats in it. But yeah, this
Yeah.
guy one.
So how many hats fit in there?
Depending on the size of the hat, we're like on average like four or
Okay.
five. Yeah. Then it has this compartment in here. So how this works? Boom. That's
Okay.
that. Yeah, like that.
Got it.
Lift it up. Now your hats are safe, secure. You don't have to worry about your hats getting crushed. You can
Yeah.
and then you can clip it to you know
Your suitcase or your
yeah to another
bag,
bag or
whatever.
something. So it's kind of hands
Yeah.
free. So you don't really have to wear it. So all my luggage is like super functional
Yeah.
because you know I have so much experience like traveling, um, going through security and like when I travel, I don't like to stop. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so, you know, I kind of design like super functionality, super great quality, and you know, I say us I would say how do I want to word this? Our community, right?
Yeah.
The culture,
Hmm.
right? Like um we put value on things that a lot of other cultures don't, such as sneakers.
Yeah.
You know
Yep.
what I mean? Such as sneakers, such as baseball hats. You know what I mean? Shout
Bags.
out to Don C. You know what I mean? Don C. selling $1,000 baseball hats. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um, so yeah, if you're gonna, you know, I just feel like that's what autopilot is for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say like the modern travel, but the our products are rooted in hip hop and in the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like how we like to travel and protect. You know what I mean? Our valuables, what we think is valuable.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
so yeah, man. You know, my ideas, I'm pretty confident in them just because I know I'm not that unique. I know there's, if I have the problem, a million other people have the same problem.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And that was like kind of like what I was so confident that the Sky Cap would do well was because um, I wasn't the only one wearing baseball hats traveling that was getting them crushed. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Once they got to their final destination. So yeah,
Have you ever
like
created a product that was like, no, this is not, this
like
is
it's
not
whack
gonna work? Yeah.
all the time. Yeah, 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 all the yeah, I design stuff all the time, and I have a small group, very very small group of like, close friends and business partners and stuff that I value their opinion. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so yeah, and especially because a lot of my designs, remember, I don't have an extensive background, the schooling on
Yeah.
design, so my ideas come from my head and I just draw them. You know what I mean? But taking a drawing and actually bringing it out to life is something completely different. So a lot of times I'll get the drawing and I'll show it to my, one of my partners who's gonna bring it to life, and it's like, nah, geez, like work at all. Like like nah. Um, but I take constructive criticism well. And oftentimes I'll just take it back to the lab, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
just try to evolve or make it better.
So through this journey, um, obviously, like at the beginning, you had people that you made connections with, and then you met your partner. But along the way, like later on in the life of the company, like have you connected with people that you are kind of like, man, I would have never thought that like this would be somebody that I would work with, or something along those lines where
Yeah. I mean, I haven't worked with them, but you know, OG, um, OG / mentor is Dapper Dan. You
okay.
know, um, yeah, Dapper Dan, like he supports the brand, and yeah, he's someone like, as young, you always used to hear Dapper Dan, but like
Right. Yeah.
thought he was like a myth, you know what I mean, or like
Larger
some
than
urban
life.
legend,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
and then but hearing his name in like countless rap songs from all my favorites through the years, but still like, yo, who's Dapper Dan? Like, never
Yeah.
seen this dude, and yeah, and then as I've gotten older and really had the chance of connecting with Dap a couple years ago, he was like his reaction, what I mean, to the brand and the product, and just explaining to him, what we're doing, and you know, he gives great advice, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, and Dap is someone like I really look up to because he's like me, like he didn't have any formal training, you know what I'm
Right.
saying,
Yeah.
in fashion, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
um, so yeah, seeing like Dap, you know what I mean, approval and blessings from Dap, like, yo, what you're doing is dope, like, when he first time he saw the Sky Cap, he said, yo, this is like the best product I've ever seen. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like that's yeah. He said this is. He told me this is yeah. In a sense, like this is the best product like I've ever seen. That you know innovation in fashion. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And coming from that, you know what I mean? I was like, you know, shit. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. That
Right. Yeah.
said, Dapper Dan said my shit was dope. You know what I'm saying? He
Exactly.
told me to keep going, so that's what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do. So yeah, man. Shout out to Dak Jelani, his son too. Does very inspirational person in my life. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to hear Dapper Dan, but that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just the first person I can think of off the top of my head that like,
Yeah, but that's big. So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Hopefully,
Cool.
hopefully it'll be a Dapper Dan slash Autopilot somewhere in the pipeline.
Yeah, I'm
That'd be
sure there will be. Sure
you
it
know,
will.
you'll be the first podcast to come back to tell us.
So moving forward, where do you want your company to go? I know you said global, but are there like products that you have in mind that are in the works or um
Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm a creative, so I'm continuously creating. But you know, global having we've done a couple pop-ups, but opening, the first store and then, you know, having a couple stores overseas and
okay.
um, continuing to build the team. Um, Shout out to Priya. Priya does our PR. She's amazing. Um, so we have some collaborations stuff like that in the works. But I'm also working on like some other brands. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, like you know, other products
Yeah.
that I've designed that really don't fit the Autopilot brand.
Brand. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna put them under a different brand.
Okay.
And
Are
yeah, I'm
they still
excited.
like travel type things or is this totally different?
Um, like gun bags.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
gun bags and like tactical bags and stuff like that. Um, yeah. This is actually it's already in the works. So like really
Okay.
working on being like the first like black
Yeah.
tactical gun bag supplier. Yeah.
Well, you're in
So
America, so you probably about to be a multi-millionaire now. So
yeah, right, right. It's definitely this is the market. If you're gonna do it anywhere,
yep.
it's
Guns
here.
are life here. So
Yeah.
man. But that's good though. So what made you come up with that idea?
Just the uniqueness, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, are you a
But
gun
once I
person?
did like some more research, I was like, damn, there's no one, that like looks like me that is in
Does
that
it?
field. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So and I'm like super creative and like gun bags and like fucking AK bags, like those bags are like, you can get really kind of creative and no one has came to that industry with any type of creativity.
Yeah.
That not that I'm not saying it's not out there, but I just haven't seen you know, a lot of creativity or anything in that industry. So
Yeah.
I got a couple ideas.
Are you a gun person?
Um, I'm not a gun person. What is that? What's a gun person? Like,
Like yeah, a gun enthusiast. So people who just like
oh
got
yeah,
a
yeah,
bunch
gun
of guns.
enthusiast? Nah. I want to say enthusiast. Nah.
So then how are you
I
coming
believe in
up
the right
with
to carry a weapon, but
how are you coming up with the concepts though? Because with the luxury luggage, you traveled, so you kind of knew what was missing. So how
right,
are you
right, right.
coming up with these concepts?
So, actually, one of my partners in that brand I'm creating, he is in law enforcement.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so he's a gun enthusiast. Like,
Yeah.
yo, man, got a safe for like 60 AKs, and yeah, that's his thing. You know what I
Got it.
mean? Like,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, he is the enthusiast. So,
Yeah, I think that would be cool though. I mean, that's not something that you hear people talk about all the time. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it would be
So yeah,
pretty
that
cool.
that yeah, that excites me. Like just yeah, yeah. I had a job, like the last real job I had,
Yeah.
right, was I was well, for a stock trading company, like actually like the largest stock trading company in America. It was in New York.
Yeah.
And while I was working there is actually when I, started having the idea for Skycap and
Mhm.
creating like the luggage line, like while I was working at that company. And yeah, I used to dread going to work every
Yeah.
single day, especially when, you know, the more and more clear my vision got of like what I wanted to do,
Yeah.
like man, like I made them fire me. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those where like I didn't do anything specific, but
Yeah.
I did enough that like, you know what, just let him go. You know what I'm saying? We'll give him unemployment, let him go. And like that's all I needed. Like, yo, the day they fired me,
Yeah.
like I think I might have cried like tears of joy. Like I was so happy. I was so happy to get fired. Now I can still go get unemployment and like, you know what I mean? But that actually like that, you know what I'm saying? Like that time is when I started going hard with Skycap, you know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
didn't have to like go to work and they were still giving me a little unemployment while I was enough to take care of like some overhead. But now I had like 8, 10, 12, 24 hours a day to devote to like myself. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And yeah, even not like now, to date, I try to, you know, make sure I put in the time. You know what I'm saying? Because an entrepreneur, it's easy to stray. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll work on it tomorrow. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have nobody to report to.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So, but like, nah, you have to put in that time. Like, there's no shortcuts to like anything that you really, really want. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that you believe in. So, yeah. Yeah, so check this out. I recently heard Virgil. You know what I mean? Rest in peace to the great Virgil. Like super grateful for Virgil too. Like what he's done
Yeah.
in the industry, like it's directly impacted me because what Virgil did was he merged street fashion with luxury.
Yeah.
Like he merged it. You know what I'm saying? So like, like and that's what Autopilot is in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like baseball cap and stuff like that. Like that's street culture. You know what I'm saying? But my vision is for it to be like in the luxury realm. You know what I mean? So like super grateful for like Virgil for just meshing that gap. But yeah, I recently heard like an interview. He was saying like, yo, like if you're an entrepreneur, you're a designer, work on 6 things at the same time.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, like, I've always worked on several product projects simultaneously, but I actually thought I was wrong for that.
Yeah.
Like, felt bad. Not saying I felt bad, but like, nah, I need to like one thing at a time, one thing at a time. You know what I mean? But I would still always go back to like, nah, I gotta like I be having to get shit out. Like if I
Yeah.
got a thought, if I got a vision, if I got an idea, like I have to get it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like a 5-year-old kid that can't stop talking. Like that's how I'm with my ideas. Like, nah. I gotta create this. I gotta create it. So like once I saw that interview, like, yeah, I was like, oh shit, like, yeah, like I shouldn't be bad for like feeling bad because you know what I mean? I'm not
Yeah.
giving 100% towards that, you know what I mean? But I am, but I'm also like very passionate and want to like create these other things, you know what I mean? But like working on different projects at the same time, like it keeps me going. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it keeps me motivated. Like it keeps it keeps just keeps the juices flowing, you
Yeah.
know. Um, so yeah, man. I like I said, I used to feel like not bad. That's not the right word, but I used to feel like I'm doing something wrong. You know what I mean? Because I started working on something else. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
something else sparked the interest. You know what I mean? But like now, when Virgil was like, "Nah, work on 6 things at a time," I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, bet. Thanks, bro." Like, I see where
Yeah.
you got. You know what I'm saying? Where it took you. You know what I mean? Virgil,
Yeah,
like,
because
you
something's
know what I
gonna
mean?
stick.
Like I told you in the beginning, man. You know, I appreciate you, and it's an honor to be on your podcast. And hopefully, I get as big as Virgil. You know what I mean? But if
Oh,
I get as big as Virgil, I will still always come back and be a part of this podcast because, like, why not? You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like,
I
why
mean,
not?
hey.
You support me, I'll support you. You know what I mean? We've known each other for, since New York now. We
Yeah, I
met in New
know.
York. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how
Yeah.
long you've been back in Texas, but we met in New York. You know what I'm saying? To meet through a
Right.
friend. So like, yeah, I don't ever want to be or come off as being too big. You know what I mean for something. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, you just kind of made me think of this story. My friend, I have a friend now. We really cool. You know what I mean? But when she tells a story about when she first reached out to me, she was doing like this trunk show, right? And like to be honest with you, when I came in, like I said, I didn't have any formal training in fashion. Like to be honest, when you like, I think when she told me, asked me about being a trunk show, I might not even know what a trunk show was. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And but I remember when she reached out, like we just didn't have our stuff ready. You know what I'm saying? Like just the product wasn't there yet, or like I mean, I think we might have put out Skycat might have came back and was coming out with another iteration of it, but for whatever reason, I wasn't ready to be a part of her trunk show. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But today she tell the story like, yeah, you was too big for me back then. You ain't even want like nah, I wasn't even that. Like that, you know what I mean? That would never be the case. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I just I think back then we just wasn't ready. Like literally
Yeah.
wasn't ready. You know what I mean? But I don't ever want to come off as just being like too big for just anything. You know what I mean? Like I'm just super appreciative. Like so you asked me to be on your podcast. Like that was dope enough. Like
Yeah.
you know, like it's humbling to me.
And I think that, that was the initial purpose of my podcast was like people that I know who are doing really big things that they don't realize are big or have gone through things that they don't realize are had an impact, that you talking about this could help somebody else. But no, I appreciate you just taking the time out. I get that when you're doing something that you are passionate about, it's not work. When you're successful in it, you just expected it to be successful, so you don't realize how successful you are. Um, and I think that that's where you are. Like you don't realize how successful your brand is because it was something you love doing.
Yeah.
So, the success was like extra for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Like what you just said there. Um. When you have a good idea, you just want to execute it. It really has nothing to do with the money. Like
Yeah.
if I didn't have to make a living, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
doing this, like if someone said, "Yeah, I love that bag," I would give it to you. You know what I mean? Oh,
Yeah.
sky cap for you. I'd be like, Oprah, you want a sky cap? You need a oh, everyone get a sky cap. Um, that's what I'm in it for though. Just like the reactions, like what
Yeah.
I don't like about the process is I actually don't like when the orders come in
Hmm.
and just going through, opening the boxes and seeing them. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't need that.
Yeah.
All I need, all I need is the satisfaction that it's done. Like I did it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And and also it's like this is like my baby. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like when I be pulling around, some of them are not perfect. Like yo, like you just made my kid ugly. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
uh, this one is not right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it gives me a lot of anxiety to be honest with you. Like you know, I've had sometimes I get production orders and them joints will just be sitting and you know what I mean in the warehouse space or whatever for like 4 or 5 days, like still in the tape.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to open that. I'm good knowing what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What's in it. But as far as like, you know what I mean, just going through the process to see if there's imperfections, like nah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Well, the EOS helped me out a lot. It's called the Entrepreneur Operating System. And this guy, if you give me a second, I'll tell you his name. He yeah, Gino Wickman.
Okay.
He has this book, it's called Traction. It's two of them that are really good. Traction and Rocket Fuel. But Traction is really good and it's called Traction. It's really all about that. Like how do you gain traction from your
Yeah.
product or whatever it is, service, whatever it is that you're offering.
Yeah.
But he goes into detail about the type of like every visionary needs needs uh, a person that can um bring your vision to life. It's just like as a as a visionary, you know, you need a partner that can like execute,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
Like manage your vision. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? To bring them out, like you can't have two visionaries.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? But like you need to understand what type of person you are and what's your role as a founder or the owner of the company, right? When you're looking
Yeah.
for a partner. You know what I mean? You need to find like if someone is a visionary, you have to have a partner that can manage and can execute, so to
Yeah.
speak. And yeah, it's a great book, and
I'm
I would advise
checking it out.
anyone that like has a partner or looking for a partner, you know what I mean,
Hmm.
and trying to weed through what type of person that they're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, check out Traction by Gino Wickman, and he just gives like a thorough breakdown. You know what I mean? And once you read it, you'll like be like, damn, this is why my company ain't been working. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because such and such trying to create also, and like, nah, there's only gonna be one person with a vision. There
Yeah.
can't be two people with visions and trying to execute. You know what I'm saying? If not, it's just not gonna work. In most instances, the businesses end up failing. You know, and that's
Yeah.
another good quote that I kind of live by, and that is you know, businesses don't fail. You know, the entrepreneur just quits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, I tell people keep going, man, even at your lowest times, when the bank is low and all that. You know what I mean? If you're passionate about it and you put in that work, you know, consistent work behind it, like you will get to wherever it is you want to get because hard work beats out talent any day.
Yeah.
Any day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People that work hard go further than people that just have the talent for it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. You see it all the time.
yeah, you just I always say, man, just tell everybody, just keep going, just keep
Yeah.
going. You know what I mean? Keep your head down and keep going. Don't worry about the likes. Don't worry about people not commenting. Don't worry about you know who's not supporting you. You know what I'm saying? Just Yeah, just stick to the script. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That's what I always say. Just stick to the plan. You know what I mean? Just stick
Yeah.
to the plan, and there will be a pot at the other end of that rainbow. But anyways, yeah, we're doing like I said, I got it from Benny the Butcher. Last year was about branding. This year is all about expanding. So we're
Yeah.
gonna be um uh doing a lot more collaborations, you know, a lot more marketing coming out, doing a lot of creating a lot more content, a lot of videos and a lot
Yeah.
of ads and stuff like that. Because one thing that we haven't done a good job of, I would say, is really telling our story or telling the story behind Autopilot and the brand. Like, a lot of people don't know, but people have seen Autopilot, but people don't know it's like I'm the person behind it. Like, and I
Yeah.
need to do a better job of like just telling the
Putting
stories and
yourself out
showing
there.
what we represent, what we're about. You know what I mean? And why we are unique. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just telling our stories. You know what I'm saying? Like, black
Yeah.
stories, I guess I like to call it, right? So yeah, I'm really excited about a lot of the content we got coming out. That's another one. Yep.
Well, Chris, I really, really appreciate
Yeah,
this.
man, let's do this again one day.
I know this was really good. I learned a lot about your company, obviously stuff I did not know. Um,
And
and
this is another interview. Like, I know I could do this better too. Like, this is only my second podcast I've ever done, and this is
hey,
the first
didn't seem
podcast
like
I've ever done by myself. You know what I mean?
okay.
Like, I've done speaking engagements. I've actually done a couple podcasts, but it's always with like my partner or someone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is the first one I was like solo dolo holding it down. So let's do this again one day.
Yeah, you did great.
All right. Good night. Thanks
All right.
again. I
You're
appreciate it.
welcome.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye.
Bye.
And that's a wrap on another amazing episode. I know that you were just as inspired as I was after listening to that conversation. And to let us know how we're doing, don't forget to leave us a review, like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. You can also follow us on all social media platforms, from YouTube to Facebook, at The Color of Influence, and on Instagram, the_color_of_influence. You can check out all of our episodes and additional content on our website, thecolorofinfluence.com, and that's an N only for influence. And don't forget to share the podcast with someone you know, and have them share the podcast with someone they know. Thank you all for listening. Until next time, peace out.